Do you know who it is? And I know that you can't tell us who it is for all the reasons, right? But as you know who it is, and as we're moving through this story, and it's starting to really feel like it's unraveling.
You attend any of P. Diddy's parties? Were you involved in any of the freak-offs?
So guys, is Taylor Swift next on the FBI's radar? Celebrity names connected to Diddy's horrific freak-off parties are now dropping like flies. And by the looks of it, Taylor is not as squeaky clean as we all thought.
We're going to make damn sure that we're right before we do that. But the names that we're going to name, assuming that our investigators confirm and corroborate what we've been told, are names that will shock you.
Damning clips of Taylor and Diddy just resurfaced, and we may now finally get to the bottom of what really went down between the pop star and the disgraced rap mogul, and why the FBI may want to be taking a closer look at Taylor as well.
Diddy's really always been very nice to me.
He's a gentleman, isn't he?
He's
a lovely gentleman.
Like, J-Lo would be like a good dancer.
Let's just hope Taylor Swift doesn't have anything to hide, because one thing is for sure, the truth always comes out. And as it happens yet, another explicit video has been leaked of an A-list celebrity getting freaky with Diddy.
There is at least one major network, possibly two, in a bidding war for that footage. It's no question if it's that person in the video, and I can tell the video was graphic in nature.
And speaking of explicit content being leaked, Taylor is no stranger to that, having explicit images of herself also being leaked online early in 2024, even if it was AI. Okay, so what's the deal with Taylor Swift suddenly being connected to Diddy? Well, for one, it's no secret that the two were on close terms. I mean, Taylor even attended some of his parties. Here she is rocking up to Diddy's VMA after party in New York City. And then in this clip, also from the Video Music Awards, I don't know, don't you think they look a little too close for comfort? Just watch.
Yep. Diddy and Taylor right here. One shot. To this camera. And then here, guys.
And on the surface, it may all look innocent enough, but it was this next clip that really got people asking, had Taylor all along been part of Diddy's freak-offs? Just watch Rachel Ray's shocked reaction the moment that Taylor picked Diddy as her perfect date. No way, she says, interestingly,
Who would you have taken to the prom?
It would be a group, and it would be a really fun group.
Boy, you're going on a freaky prom date. No way. Check that out. That's a group.
Taylor picked a seemingly random group, including Jennifer Lopez, Justin Timberlake, and Diddy Well. Taylor, who was very excited, explained that Diddy had always been very nice to her, but that's not even all according to Taylor. Diddy's a complete gentleman, and thought it a great idea to have him in her list of perfect prom dates. All I can say is that Diddy has always had that gentleman effect on most women until you're behind closed doors. That's when the real monster comes out, while at the time Taylor's remarks seemed perfectly normal. When we all look back now, it seems rather odd. I mean, Diddy and Lopez photos were included in Taylor's selection, and considering Diddy's crimes now, we're all raising some eyebrows at Taylor. And about J-Lo, we've got some pretty shocking revelations to come on her as well. But first, let's stay on track with the whole Taylor-Diddy saga. It's either she had no clue what Diddy was capable of, or she was just trying to protect the rap mogul's image. However, many people have said that Taylor was aware of Diddy's shady dealings, especially because she grew up in the industry and understood the nature of things done there. Social media is flooded with comments like these, all blasting Taylor. Taylor Swift is in the P. Diddy game. She is not what she seems. She is a recruiter. Wake up, people. When is she going to be questioned? She's at P. Diddy's after party and is best friends with Lucian Grange, whose name is also involved in the P. Diddy case. So are we just going to ignore this? She deserves to be questioned the same way JLO, Beyonce, and Jay-Z are being questioned. Others think Taylor's parents might be supported the idea of her connecting with Diddy. I mean, both Usher and Bieber's parents allowed their kids to be with Diddy without supervision, or in the case of Bieber legal guardianship.
You know, where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose.
Let's just go get some girls. Let's go hang with some girls.
A man after my heart, that's what I'm talking about, kid.
Day or two, and he had access to the house, and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Oh, apparently not.
Everything ain't for everybody.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me. And
whether Taylor is or ever was involved with Diddy, we don't know. But if she was wed, understand if she would want the truth to stay quiet. Because like I said at the start, names involved in Diddy's unspeakable freak-offs are now being exposed left and right. Just recently we learned that yet another A-list name might be exposed. It seems Diddy had secretly filmed himself getting freaky with a yet unnamed high-profile celeb. To make it worse, that videotape somehow landed in the hands of another person who now wants to sell it off to the victim in the video. And if the victim refuses to pay, let's just say it will be bad news for them.
Maybe finding out unless that person comes and purchases the video themselves, which is really the goal of the people who have the video. They just, at this point, if that person doesn't want to purchase it, then it's going to go on the open market.
Wow.
So yeah, it's understandable that any celeb tied to Diddy is scared right now and might even be trying to flee the country. But I mean, ain't his close friends supposed to come out and fight for him? Why run away now? So, Eddie Griffin has unapologetically dropped a major bombshell.
He didn't move quick enough. Now Russell got the hell out. That nigga's on an island somewhere, doing something. The Diggler, he ain't gonna make it, y'all. Here is my prediction. I predicted that he was going to jail before they took him. But anyway, he ain't gonna live. I'd be surprised if he lived past the end of September.
According to him, 2 celebrities who went up against Diddy have mysteriously disappeared, and Russell Simmons, a prominent figure in the entertainment industry, and Diddy's pal, in a desperate attempt, flew to an unknown island. Jay-Z, on the other hand, has been laying low recently. But that's not all. Leonardo DiCaprio, who was allegedly present at Diddy's wild parties, was also seen fleeing the country allegedly. But if true, it's probably because some of his dirtiest secrets are now being exposed. Like this one, for instance.
Where I discovered Leonardo DiCaprio on his knees, lying on his knees next to a bed, and on the bed, my bed, was one of the biggest TV stars in the world.
It already sounds chilling, doesn't it? But sadly for the poor actress in this story, it gets even worse. Just listen.
He was whispering in her ear while she masturbated in front of 6, 7, or 8 of our friends. And it was incredibly disturbing. And then,
want to know what makes it all the more horrifying? This apparently happened before Leo started hanging out with Diddy. So yeah, it seems like birds of a feather really do flock together. And let's not forget, Leo was always #1 on the guest list when it came to Diddy parties.
Who's the person that's #1 on that invitation list?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Also, Kevin Hart allegedly closed down 2 of his 4 vegan restaurants. Hart House, just a few days before Diddy's crimes and arrest, made headlines. This has left a lot of people speculating that he might have closed his businesses down in the wake of Diddy's legal troubles.
Kevin Hart and Sean Combs were friends for a very long time, and there's video to prove it. And Hart, at least from what we've seen in some clips from paparazzi, appears to be distancing himself from Sean Combs. Most celebrities who know him are, and that's not shocking.
So did Hart shut down his businesses just to get enough cash to be able to flee the country if he suddenly has to? Another celebrity who allegedly fled the country and even went ahead to cancel her concert was Jennifer Lopez. Although her relationship with Diddy was totally toxic, Lopez was at almost every one of his parties at the time. While Lopez says her concert was canceled so she could spend more time with her family, some fans are sure it was all connected to Diddy's arrest. Because let's not forget, J-Lo was involved in Diddy's infamous 1999 nightclub shootout where a young woman took a bullet to the face and was incredibly lucky to survive. Well, that woman, Natanya Rubin, says Diddy and J-Lo are both as guilty as sin.
You're sure that Diddy shot you? 100%.
I'm 100% sure. I'm 100% sure. I'm 1,000,000% sure.
And J-Lo was apparently the one who had snuck Diddy's gun into the club in the first place. And she was also the one who apparently got rid of it after the shootout, throwing it out of a car window as they were fleeing the scene.
J-Lo brought the gun in and then threw it out and then lied to all of the law enforcement and the grand jury. Come to the front of the room, Jenny, with a Glock. You got some splaining to do.
So it seems J-Lo's dirty secrets are also being exposed. So is it that hard to believe that J-Lo would want to keep things on the down low? But if there's one person who is really scrambling like a mad bat out of hell to keep everyone silent, it's Diddy himself. So basically, Diddy's been making relentless efforts to contact potential witnesses, including victims of his bus, who could provide powerful testimony against him. Though shocking, it's quite like Diddy to break prison rules. He even paid other inmates to use their phone code numbers known as Packy numbers, so he could call people who he really wasn't allowed to call. I mean, prosecutors have alleged that Diddy has used a third-party communication service to contact unauthorized people. And get this, they even think Diddy may have called his son to blackmail victims and witnesses, either to silence them or to provide testimony that could help his defense. If you recall, he and his lawyers asked for a gag order just because they thought their plans to lie about the government violating their rights would get him bail. And as if that wasn't enough crafting and manipulation, Diddy has also tried to shape public perception of his crimes from behind bars. Well, earlier in November, his son Justin posted a video on Instagram where he and his siblings were singing happy birthday over the phone to their jailed father. Don't get me wrong, guys, there's nothing bad about wishing your dad a happy birthday. Unless there's a sinister plan behind it, like in the case of Diddy. I mean, even his prosecutors noticed that the rap mogul was monitoring the analytics and audience engagement. But that's not all. Y'all will be shocked to find out that he right out discussed with his family about how to use the video to change the minds of potential jury members in his case.
We saw that, obviously designed, put out on social media, designed to make him look like a good father, good family man, the last person who could possibly be guilty of these incredibly serious things he's been charged with.
For those who don't know, Diddy did some really bad stuff in jail. He was caught communicating over the summer with a grand jury witness. And as bad as it is already, he deleted some of his texts with the witness. That's why Subramanian, the US district judge over Diddy's case, said Diddy's willingness to skirt jailhouse rules to conceal communications was strong evidence that any conditions of release would not prevent similar behavior, even though Diddy's lawyers insisted that a $50 million bail would be enough to make sure he doesn't flee the country or intimidate prospective witnesses. His bail was still denied, and he was asked to remain in custody until his 2025 trial, as accusations against him kept mounting. And to make things worse, Griffin claims that Diddy is in bigger trouble than he thinks because powerful people are coming after him and are willing to take him down at all costs. Surprisingly, his connections are far deeper than anyone could imagine, and it's no wonder he's been denied bail 3 times in a row. I mean, Diddy shouldn't be underestimated. You never know what moves he'll make to dodge trouble, whether it's fleeing the country or avoiding prison. And moving on, Diddy's legal team has failed to get their client bail. And the problem is with Diddy and his inability to keep to jail rules. Now all he can do is remain in jail until his May 2025 hearing. Anyways, if convicted, Diddy's gonna spend the next 15 years in prison, or he could face life imprisonment, and that's gonna cast a long shadow on his accomplices. But what do y'all think about celebrities running away from the country? Do you think if found guilty, they would escape going to jail? And what about Taylor? Do y'all think she might have known all along about Diddy's freak-off parties? Also, don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments. If you don't want to miss the latest Hollywood gossip, then be sure to check out our other videos where we dig deep into the lives of your favorite celebrities.